Let's talk about a word we hear everywhere these days: boundaries. It's all over social media, self-help books, and therapy sessions. We're all told we need to have healthy boundaries. It sounds great, right? But what does it actually mean? For a lot of us, it's a fuzzy concept. We know we should have them, but we don't know what they look like or why we feel so guilty when we try to set them. But here's the twist. We think that always being available, always saying yes, and always being the nice person is a good thing. We think it makes us a good friend, partner, or employee. In reality, a lack of boundaries is one of the fastest ways to burn yourself out and ruin your relationships. Ever found yourself saying yes to something while your inner voice was screaming no? Or felt a growing sense of bitterness towards someone you're constantly helping? Maybe you're exhausted, overwhelmed, and feel like you're living your life for everyone but yourself. Hate to say it, but those aren't signs of being nice. They're signs your boundaries are too weak. So today we're breaking down 5 clear signs that you need stronger boundaries. And definitely stick around, because at the end I'm going to give you actual word-for-word scripts you can use to start enforcing them without feeling like a jerk. All right, let's jump in. First up, a classic sign. You are chronically overcommitted. Take a look at your calendar. Is it a nightmare of back-to-back appointments, favors for others, and projects you reluctantly agreed to? This is the most common symptom of weak boundaries. You say yes to helping a friend move on your only day off. You say yes to taking on extra work when you're already swamped. You say yes to plans you don't even want to go to. The root of this is a fear of disappointing people. We think saying no will make someone angry or think less of us. So we sacrifice our own time, energy, and peace to keep others happy. But here's the catch. When you say yes to everything, you're effectively saying no to yourself. No to rest, no to your own hobbies, and no to the things that actually recharge you. You're left feeling completely drained. Sign number 2, you feel resentful a lot of the time. Resentment is the poison that grows in the gap between what you do and what you want to do. When you constantly push your own needs aside to accommodate others, you might smile on the outside, but inside, a little bit of bitterness starts to build. You start thinking, after all I do for them, they can't even do this one thing for me? Or don't they see how exhausted I am? You feel taken for granted and unappreciated. This resentment is a massive red flag. It's your emotional system telling you that the balance is off. You're giving way more than you're getting. And it's not just about favors. It's about giving away your own energy and well-being. And that bitterness will silently corrode even your closest relationships.
The yes man trap. There's this guy. Let's call him Kevin. Kevin is the ultimate yes man at work. Someone needs help moving? Yes, Kevin can do it. Someone needs a report done by midnight? Kevin's on it. He even once agreed to organize the office's Bring Your Pet to Work Day, despite being allergic to everything with fur. His calendar looks like a complex military operation. His friends see him and ask, "Kevin, are you a person or a project manager for everyone else's life?" He thought he was being nice, making friends. But one day, his boss asked him to volunteer for a charity marathon on his only day off. Kevin paused. He said, "Yes." And then he mysteriously vanished into a pile of paperwork and was only found days later, murmuring, "Just 5 more minutes of sleep." He learned the hard way that a yes to everyone else is a no to your own sanity.
This brings me to number 3. You take responsibility for other people's feelings. This one is subtle. If a friend is sad, do you feel like it's your job to cheer them up? If your partner is angry, do you immediately wonder what you did wrong and how you can fix it? This is a classic sign of weak emotional boundaries. You've blurred the line between supporting someone and carrying their emotional baggage for them. You act like you have the power to control how other people feel, which is impossible. And the issue here is twofold. First, it's exhausting for you. You become an emotional sponge soaking up everyone else's anxiety and stress. And second, it robs the other person of the chance to manage their own feelings. You're not helping them grow. You're just trying to patch up their emotions to ease your own discomfort. Next, sign number 4, you avoid conflict at all costs. You need to tell your roommate to clean their dishes, but instead of saying something, you just wash them yourself while silently fuming. You disagree with an idea at work, but you stay silent in the meeting to avoid making waves. If the thought of even a minor disagreement makes your stomach turn, your boundaries are likely too weak. You've learned to prioritize keeping the peace over expressing your own needs, opinions, or limits. The problem is, avoiding small conflicts doesn't make them go away. It just allows problems to grow until they become huge, explosive conflicts. A healthy relationship, whether it's with a friend, partner, or coworker, requires respectful conflict. If you can't voice your needs, you can't have a real, authentic connection. And the final sign, number 5, your own needs are always last on the list. This is the end result of all the other signs. When you've overcommitted your time, taken on everyone's feelings, and avoided any conflict, there is simply no space left for you. You're the one who skips your workout to run an errand for someone else. You're the one who stays up late finishing a project you shouldn't have agreed to, even though you're sick. Your goals, your health, your happiness, they all get bumped to the bottom of your to-do list. This isn't sustainable. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Living this way inevitably leads to burnout, anxiety, and a feeling of being completely disconnected from yourself.
The silent dishwasher. Imagine Sarah. Sarah lives with a roommate who has a peculiar talent for leaving dirty dishes in the sink for days. Sarah, with her weak boundaries, would always just wash them herself. But inside, a silent war was brewing. Every time she washed a dish, her internal monologue would get louder. "Oh, look at these dishes," her inner voice would say. "So sparkling clean. I wonder if the roommate even notices the magic dish fairy who appears nightly." Then, a little more sarcastically, "Perhaps they think the dishes self-clean? A magical dish gnome, maybe?" One day, she actually left a note that said, "Dear magical dish gnome, thank you for your service. Please remember to pay your rent." The roommate still didn't get it. Sarah realized that the dish gnome and her subtle hints weren't working. It was time for a direct conversation.
Okay, so maybe a few of those hit a little too close to home. The big question is, what do you do about it? I know the thought of setting a boundary can be terrifying. We worry we'll sound mean or selfish. So here are 3 simple, respectful scripts you can start using today. First, for when you need to say no to a request, instead of a long, rambling excuse, just use this. "Thank you so much for thinking of me, but I can't commit to that right now." It's polite, it's firm, and it's a complete sentence. You don't owe anyone a detailed explanation. Second, for when you feel pressured to answer on the spot, give yourself the gift of time. Say, "Let me check my schedule and I'll get back to you." This breaks the people-pleasing impulse to say yes immediately. It gives you the space to actually decide if you want to do it without the pressure of someone waiting for an answer. And third, for when you want to help but can't do the whole thing, offer a compromise that respects your limits. Say, "I can't help with the full project, but I can spare an hour to look over it with you." This shows you care, but it also clearly states what you are and are not willing to do. Look, boundaries aren't walls to keep people out. They are guidelines to let people know how to be in a healthy relationship with you. It's not about being mean, it's about being clear. Because at the end of the day, the most important relationship you have is with yourself. And respecting your own limits is the ultimate form of self-care. Thanks for hanging out for today's episode. I'll see you in the next one, where we're going to talk about your inner critic and how to finally rewrite its script.